tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram for your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀.
To another episode of Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV, SPFS Television, live from the city of Ibadan, or your state. Here we are going to be talking about agriculture again, everything that has to do with agriculture, agripreneurs, agriculturists, and all about, the green world on this very interesting, educative, insightful Agric program, Let's Talk Agric. My name is Olamide Teju. So on this program, you can call me Sisi Teju, and trust me, we're going to have another amazing time on the show this afternoon. You recall that we had a very splendid time, last week, talking about another crop. Today, it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to be looking at water in agriculture. Perhaps you're wondering, why do I need to know about water in agriculture? Water is one of the essential and critical inputs when it comes to agricultural production. You're talking about livestock farming, you're talking about, crop production. We cannot but look at water as a critical input into all of these practices in agriculture. That is why we'll be having our guests doing justice to irrigation farming versus rain-fed farming here on the show today. When we come back after the show, we'll be talking with our guest who is here all the way from Ile-Ife to speak with us on the difference between rain-fed agriculture and irrigation. We'll be focusing more on irrigation. As a farmer, when do you need to employ irrigation infrastructure? How do you start? What do you need to make such investment? We'll get into all this talk after this break. Just stay tuned and don't go away. Welcome back, people. As you can see, we are live on the program Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV with our guest here in person of Mr. Abdul Ganiyu, yes, who is the CEO of Pharmacy Agri Services and Agro Consult. In fact, when I heard of this, the name of his farm, I was quite curious about why pharmacy. We'll get to know about that. As you can see, he's a very young person, a young agripreneur who has been doing this for years, and he's here to speak with us, to take us through the work of water in agriculture, especially irrigation. It's a pleasure having you on the program this afternoon, Mr. Ganiyu.
Good afternoon, man, and good afternoon, listeners.
Thank you so much. All right, before we get into the discussion proper,
okay.
I want to remind our people to always like, watch, and share. Don't do this alone. Don't watch this show alone because it's about to get interesting, especially when it has to do with irrigation, irrigated farming. Okay, Mr. Ganiyu, let's start this way.
Okay.
That about agricultural water. Where does agricultural water come from? And what is the constituent of agricultural water? Is it just any kind of water?
No.
Okay.
We have three main sources of agricultural water.
Interesting.
We have the source from the rain, then the surface, then the underground. The surface is the river, dam, stream, lakes, artificial lakes, then water from the pond, fish pond, or water from fish pond mainly. Then maybe some waste water from poultry farms. Then we have the underground, either the bowl mainly, then well in some cases. But the most economical source of water is surface water. Is surface water.
The one you get from rivers.
Yes, from rivers. So that is why when we are to situate a farm, like when a farmer is when purchasing farm, it's better to get a place very close to water.
A water source.
River or stream, or a stream that can be easily dammed to supply.
Wow.
Because the cost of drilling borehole is expensive.
Wow.
And also not even only the cost of drilling borehole itself. There will be some associated cost for underground water. You still need to drill. After drilling, run piping, the pump, then the tanks. But when you are using river, when your water is close to river, so you just need to do a little dressing to dam the river if the flow is not much. So you have to dam it along the line to give you the enough source of water. So with that, you just need to connect your pump directly to the river, then to the irrigation system.
Wow.
So there is no need for other connections, unlike the underground surface water.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, interesting. So if you've been wondering where agricultural water comes from, you know they are from three sources right now. We talked about surface water, underground water, and
the
rainfall. Mr. Ganiyu, I'm thinking that these days there are a lot of challenges to water in agriculture. You're looking at the issue of urbanization, you're looking at population growth. In fact, the population growth for 2050 estimation is in billions. That will be about 10 billion people on the surface of the earth. And it brings me the question of, do we have enough water for agriculture? You have more people around the world, more population. We are still discussing the issue of climate change, so many environmental factors. Do we have enough water for agriculture?
In agriculture, let's say farmers are facing challenges of water. Yes, farmers are facing challenges, especially now that we are experiencing climate change.
Wow.
The rainfall has not been consistent.
Right.
It's not frequent. A year in, year out, the rainfall keep reducing. We are experiencing more dry spells than previous years. So it's better for a farmer to have other source of water, like a backup, another means of supplying water for the farm. So it is better for a farmer to have other source of water, which is river and underground. But my advice for farmers is get a land closer to water.
Okay.
Get a land closer to water. Water cannot be enough because most farms now, the Ministry of Agriculture, most land used for that is meant to be used for agriculture, they have been using it for housing.
For housing, yeah. Corporations.
Yes, it has been used for housing corporation, especially in Osun State. So we have a case of whereby land that has been used for agriculture for years has been converted to estate. So for a farmer, the best thing is just to get a land closer to water.
Wow.
Closer to water. That is just it.
So the best
River.
thing is to get water, a farmland
Closer to surface water.
a surface water.
And also, as a farmer, it's better to get previous background information, some information of the land that you want to buy.
And the environment.
And the environment. Because there are some environments whereby to dig underground water, let's assume there is not even surface water there. You now want to improvise by digging underground water. You have to dig to a very, very far depth. And in some cases, you might not even get enough sort of water to feed the farm.
And it will have cost you many
energy. And there's some place that even the strata, there is a lot of rocky strata underneath that will make it very hard to get water to the farm, to supply the farm.
Wow, interesting. It's still the water discussion on this episode of the program Let's Talk Agric on SPFS television this afternoon, and we're still speaking with Pharmacy Ani Kaye, as it's popularly called. He's the CEO of Pharmacy Agro Consult, and he also has a farmland. We are still going to get personal with him later on, but we are still focusing on business of the day, which is about water in agriculture. You know, I am asking that question again, that in case you're wondering, why should I be interested in water? Water is a critical input in agriculture. When it comes to agricultural production, food security, you find out that our emphasis on this program has been on food security for some weeks now. So we are still looking at this dimension, this aspect of, you know, food security, which is water. Without water, we cannot have food security. Is it not so?
Yeah. Without water, we cannot have food security. And without irrigation system, we can't achieve the food security aims.
Right. Yes, let's get to irrigation now as one of the backup plans for, you know, water on
Supply
the farm,
for farm.
water supply, water
farm.
infrastructure for farming.
Yes.
Now, at what point do you know as a farmer that right now, I think I need irrigation?
Okay.
I think I don't have enough rainfall. At what point do you know? What are the signs? What are the symptoms? How do we put it? What do you see on your farmland to know that this is the right time to introduce irrigation?
Yeah. Firstly, this issue of climate change is something to tell all farmers that it is important you get irrigation for your farm. And also, there are some crops that the rates at which they need water is very, very high, like veggies. Generally, all through the lifestyle of veggies,
I
you need
remember we
water
talked
for
about
it.
cucumber.
Yes,
leaking a lot of
all
water.
veggies, both the leafy veggies, the fruity veggies, you need water for them.
for them.
You have to water them twice a day.
Wow.
In some cases, maybe once in a day, but it's better you water it twice. Let's assume now that we now have rain. Sometimes we experience rain twice in a week, sometimes once in a week. Sometimes we might not even have it throughout the week, especially during dry season. So it is important to get irrigation system for your farm. And also, there is a lot of benefit associated with the irrigation system. So when you are irrigating your farm, you get more yield than someone depending on rain.
Really?
Sure, because you know plant uptakes water, uptake nutrients through the water. So let's assume it rains today and it doesn't rain in the next 3 days. That is, there will be limited supply of nutrients because there is limited supply of water to the plants. But in a situation whereby you are supplying nutrients, you are watering your farm, you are irrigating your crops every day. You get them today, you get them in the evening. That is the yield, the way the plant responds, it responds positively to the nutrients, to the water you are giving them.
Okay.
So it's always better to irrigate your farm. That is the best advice,
Especially
especially for veggies farmer.
Right.
And also most crop at their tender age, they need water. Even crops, even tree crops, cashew, cocoa, plantain. Plantain also need water very well.
Wow.
So because there is two options when you want to cultivate plantain, is that you cultivate it in a place very close to surface water, like a swampy, not that swampy, like a semi-swampy, where the water table level is at.
Right.
So, or you irrigate it because plantain need water.
Wow.
Plantain need water. And all these crops has types of irrigation system that maybe we talk that maybe during our discussion.
All right. Thank
But
you.
the best thing is to get irrigation system for most crop, but most importantly, veggies and crops like plantain, and all crops at their tender age.
All right, it will interest our audience to know that according to the World Bank survey, about 40% of the total food produced worldwide, globally now, is out of irrigated farming. I'll take that again. 40% of the food produce that we are enjoying today is a product of irrigated farming. That is to say that irrigation is really, playing a lot of role in agricultural production.
Yes.
Beyond just farming, if we talk of livestock farming, we also need water, although our focus today is on crop production.
Yes.
So we have talked about some of the things you need to look out for. You made a critical point that you don't even need to look at the rainfall before you start thinking of irrigation structure.
Yes,
because of the climate change that is already existing. We don't have rainfall. We don't have rainfall as we used to have it.
Yes.
We don't have rainfall when we used to have it.
Yes.
Right now, people should be looking at a lot of rainfall, but I think that is not happening in many areas.
Yes, it is the climate change. It is, so that is why it's better you get irrigation system for your farm, especially in dry season. In dry season, when rain stop, most farmers go on a forceful break. They have to go on break because there is no rain to cultivate. Even those that have tree crops, that planted tree crops, there will be lesser weed control. There will be no much weed. So when you have irrigation system in your farm during dry season, because that time now there is lesser. What determines supply? What determines demand? Sorry, is supply.
Okay.
When the supply is low and the demand is still high, so the price also will be high because the supply is lesser than the demand. So as a farmer, when you have irrigation system on your farm during dry season, you make more money than in rainy season. Most especially veggies. The cucumber that we usually sell during rainy season, like 3, 5, 4,000, 5,000 per bag. Okay. In dry season, we used to sell it 7,000 naira, 8,000, 6,500. Wow. And there will not be issue whereby you have the produce and you are not able to supply it. You do not see people to buy. No. During dry season, the demand is always high because the supply is low, and you sell at a better price. So with that, you're able to make back your investments when you invest in drip irrigation system farming. Though it's expensive, that is the fact. Drip irrigation systems are expensive. Okay. But when you compare it, it's only the initial cost that is high. Okay. When you split it to the numbers of years that we used to use the system, because you can use it for a long period of time. Wow. Not what you use this year and you still have to get another one next year. You can use it for up to like 8 years and above, depending on how you maintain it. Wow. So it's better, safer, and economical for an investor, a farmer, to invest in irrigation system. At least make sure that at least 10% of your farm are irrigated. You will enjoy it. Most farmers, most new investors, that is the advice I used to give my clients. Try and invest in irrigation system, especially if you are doing veggies crop. Even if there is a situation whereby a client consulted me that he wanted to cultivate veggies, cucumber, and he said irrigation system is expensive, you don't want to do irrigation. I told him, okay, you have the plan of doing 5 acres of veggies. I would advise you just do, even if it is half an acre, you can do, or 1 acre self, make it irrigated. Wow. You will make the money than doing rain-fed. Because there is a lot of risks in doing rain-fed. Now I have farmers around me in my place that they planted maize around early March, when we just have the brief rain. They planted. Now, when we have a break after the rainfall that fell during that time, like 4 times rainfall that we experienced around February, March. There was a drought of like 2-3 weeks. How will the crop survive? So that is, the farmer has to replow and replant again. Oh, no. That is another loss. Oh, no. And also along the line, because during fruiting stage, crops need more water. Okay. So along the line, let's assume you cultivate your maize or your other crops. When you get to the fruiting stage, there was no rain. There is no rain for like a week. How will the crop survive, especially veggies? Because veggies need more water. Sometimes we even supply water to veggies in the morning. In the evening, when you are leaving the farm, you will be pitying them because they would have changed because of the heat. So that is, they need water again. So you have to wait again in the evening. Interesting. So the crops need water generally.
They need water. I love that emphasis.
And it is expensive. It is advisable. It is economical to irrigate your farm. Very, very good. I like that you're already getting into the water management aspect of agriculture. But when you say that irrigation farming, with your discussion or relationship with your clients, talking about irrigation being expensive, how expensive are we talking about? Depending on the type. We have various types of irrigation systems.
Maybe we should start with that before going to the price.
Okay. We have various types of irrigation systems. We have various components.
All right.
Let me start with the components. we have various components of irrigation. We classify them into three. We have the main kits, which should be on the feed. Then we have the pump and associated accessories, which should be the medium that will be pulling the water to the farm.
Okay.
Then we have the storage system and associated accessories.
Okay.
So the storage system is the tank, water tank, and some piping system, some connection to be done
to the farm.
Yes, it might be the storage, then it might be the dam or reservoir, depending on your water source.
All right.
Then the pump and associated accessories, we have various type of pump depending on the system and the size of the farm.
All right.
Because it's the size of the farm that will determine the pumping system to use. Because you need, the area of the farm is large, you need pumping machine with higher horsepower to put the water.
That's true.
You need, because the more the distance, the lesser the pressure will be dropping.
Right.
So you need, when the area of the farm is large, you need pumping machine of higher horsepower. And also depending on the system, because some system require more pressure, like rain gun and all these overhead sprinklers. When we get there, I will explain. So they need more pressure. So the pumping machine and associated accessory contain the pumping machine, the suction hose. The suction hose is the hose that will bring water from the storage tank into the pumping machine. Then the discharges will take water from the pumping machine out to the feed. Right. Then control the air valve, the bore valve to control the flow of water. Then some other fixings like the elbow, tees, and the lights and clips. Then the main kit now, I said we have various types depending on the types. We have the drip tape with fixed emitter. We have drip tape with adjustable emitter. We have spray tube. Then we have the sprinklers.
Which one is the best?
Depending on the crop.
Oh,
so
okay.
the sprinkler now, we have the rain gun, the giant sprinkler. We have various type of impact sprinklers. Some are the common one we do see in all these garden in the house. Because irrigation system is also installed in the house. So to irrigate flowers to horticulture. So this impact sprinkler, we have various sizes too. So now to the drip tape with adjustable emitter. That one is used for veggies generally because it doesn't sprinkle water all over the area of the farm. It just it has a fixed emitter, calibrated, depending on the type of the crop. Because the fruit veggies, the planting spacing varies.
Okay. Some
30 cm, some 50 cm, some 40 cm. So for like cucumber, we usually use 30 cm. For cabbage, tomato, we use 50 cm.
Okay.
So the emitters have been calibrated.
Okay.
So what are we dripping out from the emitters to the root of the farm, to the root of the crops.
The crop, right.
Then we have the drip tube with adjustable emitter. That one is generally used for tree crops because the volume of water that come out of the emitter the emitter will be emitting is more than that of drip tube with adjustable emitter because the volume of water required for tree crops are more than veggies. So we have that one. Then we have the rain gun usually used for veggies and some other crops too. It can be used for tree crops too, and it's also used for other crops like cabbage and the likes. So you said which one is the best, and I said it's depending on the type of crop.
All right.
So for drip tape, for crop like cucumber, fruit veggies, the best system is drip irrigation system.
Drip irrigation.
Because those crops used to have issue of pest attack.
Right.
When water is sprinkling on the leaf, they have issue of speck attack like DM, dining midway, powdery midway, and the likes.
Okay.
But for veggies, veggies need water. Leafy veggies need water on their leaf, and also the root system. So you use overhead system for them.
Okay.
So
that's for leafy veggies. For fruity ones.
For fruity veggies, you use drip tape.
And
adjustable emitter.
Interesting. Okay, but when you have crops which are still in their nursery stage, maybe for tree crops, they're still in their nursery stage, and there is no enough rainfall. And what type of irrigation is suitable?
Sprinkler, impact sprinkler, the small one, or this 3/4 inches one. 1 1/4 inches sprinkler. They are very small. I have the picture on my phone.
I was even thinking we could use watering can.
Yes, people use watering can, but that is the old system. No, people still use it.
It's not effective.
I use it. It's effective depending on depending on how large the
Alright.
nursery is.
Alright.
You know, when you have an HVAC sprinkler fixed in the nursery area, so you just have to on your pump, then only one control, you on it.
And everything
Will be irrigated. It will be sprinkling on the farm.
Interesting. Instead of going
from one plant to another. And I forgot to let me make you know that we can use irrigation. We fix irrigation system too for snail house.
All right.
For
Snail house.
Yes, for snail.
Okay.
To keep the farm, the pen irrigated, like to keep it moisture every time.
Alright.
You know, most in all these free range for snail, we do plant crop like potato, cocoyam,
Alright.
banana, pawpaw.
Alright.
So this the irrigation, the sprinkler, we keep the farm moist always.
Alright.
So it's also used for snail too, not only for crops.
For crop production.
Yes.
Thank you for that. An expanded explanation concerning types of irrigation and of course some of the crops associated with each type.
Yes.
I want us to go for a short break. When we come back from the break, we'll get to discuss how expensive each of these types of irrigation systems are. I'm sure people already asking questions. I'm sure people have such questions going through their mind. If you have other questions aside the one I just mentioned, please use the comment section below. Drop your comments, let us know where you're watching us from. Make sure you like, share. Yes, like, watch and share with your friends and families, and especially the younger ones. We're doing this program not just to celebrate and encourage farmers, but also to bring up the younger ones into saying that agriculture is an agriculture, and without it, we cannot have food security in the future. So when we come back after this break, we'll talk about how expensive irrigation farming is. To stay tuned.
Ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀.
I have the pictures and videos.
You have the pictures now, Ope?
SPFS TV lórí YouTube, subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kooro. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti
state capital. This is when they're doing something great about agriculture, and I hope you're also following us. Don't forget to like, watch, and share. Make sure that you do that. Very, very important. And also use the comment section. Let us know where you are watching from. All right, quickly before we get back to our guest on the topic for today, I want to take quick comments from the page. People who are watching us live on the program right now. We have Fatu Dimo Temitayo Emmanuel Kola. He says, lovely pharmacy. Thank you so much. We also have Adio Lalekon Lainka. He said, pharmacist to the world. We have so many people saying kudos to our guest to the program on the show today. And we also have some other beautiful comments here on the page. This one is coming from Abdulaziz Abdulgafar Adewale, and he says he's making his contribution concerning the topic for today, and he says irrigation systems offer a variety of benefits. They allow for the growth of a wider variety of crops. They can be timed so that the hands-on portion of crop production is a little less cumbersome. They protect crops from irregular and dry weather conditions. Irrigation increases crop productivity as well. Thank you so much. It's also saying thank you and well done to the team here on SPFS Television Let's Talk Agric program. All right, let's get back to the discussion. If you're also watching us, make sure to use the comment section. Let us know where you're coming from. You have contributions. Perhaps you even have challenges with your irrigation farming system. Maybe you have been you've been using irrigation system, particular one. Perhaps it is drip, it is overhead, whichever one you've been using. Maybe you have a particular challenge with an irrigation system. Please use the comment section and let us know whatever challenge you're facing. Our guests will do well to attend to your questions. All right, let's get back to the issue of how expensive are these irrigation systems. Each of them.
Okay.
Which one is the, let's say, which one is the fairest when it comes to pricing? And you said it's about the crop. It's not even about what you want. It's about the type of crop you are growing. So how expensive is it? How many thousands of naira are we talking about? Okay,
averagely per acre within 250,000 to 400,000 naira.
Wow.
Depending on the
That's a lot of money.
Depending on the type.
Wow.
So for rain gun, people used to consider rain gun as a bit expensive, a bit cheaper. So most people used to go for rain gun. It is during our conversation that I will now have to tell them it is not what you want. It is your crop that will tell us
that decide
what you want. So, but rain gun is actually a bit cheaper, But when it comes to that is the kit alone, no. That is the kit alone. But when we now consider the pump and associated accessories, because when you are using rain gun, your rain gun need more pressure to pull the water. Rain gun, because it push water up to like 30, 40, 20 distance radius. There is a rain gun that even push water up to like 60, 100 meters. So with that, you need a pump mention of higher horsepower. Imagine for a 4 acres of land, you will be needing a pump machine of almost 700,000 naira, 600,000 naira. So we have a pump machine that was a project of about 10 hectares of maize farm. So the pump machine we used there was pump machine of 2.5 million naira.
Wow.
40 horsepower. So because for irrigation system like veggies, like drip, because the 3 inches mud pump of 80,000 naira can still power up to 2-3 acres. But for rain gun, you need a pump machine of 4 inches, pump machine of 275,000. There was a job we did at Baile in Abeokuta. It's just 6 rain guns for like 3 acres. So the pump machine we used there was pump machine that worth 275,000 naira. And also the accessories will also be expensive.
You know, the way you mentioned these hundreds of thousands of naira, I'm thinking that the farmers really see it as if I make this investment,
yes,
I'll be able to get returns.
Yes,
I'll not be running at us. We are talking about 6 figures here.
Yes, you'll be able to get your return, because when let's assume you installed drip irrigation, because for drip irrigation system, drip tape, it will cost you like 320, 335, 350, 340, depending on your planting spacing. Because when the planting spacing is wider, the cost will reduce. Because the drip tape we use will be lesser. because yes,
Okay.
for drip irrigation, for drip to adjustable emitter, we need lay flats. The offtake, the lay flat is what will be the connection between the discharge of drinking water from the rain gun,
Alright.
then to the feed. Then we need offtake. It is offtake that we take the water from the lay flats to the drip tape.
Okay.
Then the drip tape will now be connected to the offtake. Then there will now be an end cap at the end to stop the flow of water.
Wow.
Then they hook that support. So all these small accessories, they
They cost a lot.
cost a lot.
Wow.
Some are cheaper. End cap is the most cheapest, just 10,000 naira for 100 pieces. But the offtake, we have the two type. The offtake with valve is expensive than the one without valve. The one with valve, you can control the flow of water. When, let's assume you partition your farm, you are cultivating more crops, like two, 3 different crops on an area. So when you use the one with air valve, you can off some parts, especially when you are fertigating. I will still talk about fertigating too.
Alright.
When you are fertigating, you are supplying a certain nutrient for a particular crop. Like
Fertigating.
yes, fertigating. I will explain that.
Alright.
Fertigating is the art of supplying water, supplying nutrients. Sorry, through the water to the crop, like giving, like the way
You
deep
inject
inject in the hospital,
human
or
with-
giving
Alright.
someone that is sick is ill drip.
Drip. Alright.
So, and it's very faster because there are mainly two methods of supplying fertilizer, through the side raising and through the drip irrigation system.
Alright.
So, but the drip irrigation system is very faster. It's very faster. So all these items that I'm talking about, the offtake, the end cap, the lay flat, they cost money and they are expensive and they are very important. And they are very important. You can't say, okay, let me use end cap. It will affect the maintenance
Right.
later on. So they are expensive. For drip tape, you need around 320,000. The pumping accessories around 80, 70.
For an hectare.
Yes, for an acre.
For an acre, rather.
Yes, it's just an acre, for an acre. So let's assume you spend that amount up to like 500,000 naira for just 1 acre. Then drip cucumber now. Let's assume you want to cultivate cucumber. Cucumber is normal. The cultivation of cucumber is expensive too. Like you will be spending like almost 400. So during rainy season, when you don't use a drip irrigation system, you are selling 3,500, 4,000. But in dry season now, you are selling 6,000, 7,000. You can see the profit margin, and also your yield will be different, because in rainy season, when you are rain-fed, you'll be experiencing more abortion of fruits because there will be imbalance in supply of water. So, and one of the causes of abortion is supply of nutrient and water.
Okay.
So when there is no water, how will the crop get nutrients? And also other factors like
And it will
pollination.
affect fruiting.
It will affect the fruiting, the shape, the size, the number itself. Cucumber is supposed to get like up to 8 fruits per stand, or let's say 6, 7, depending on the variety anyway. So you might get like 4, 3. But when you are using drip irrigation system, and your practices are right, so you get more yield. So with that, and you also sell at higher price. Instead of getting 50 bags, you are getting 60, 70 bags. And instead of selling 3,000, 3,500, you are selling 5, 6, 7, 8,000. So with that, you'll be able to get your yield. And it's not something that you even use once. Use it this year, use it next year, use it upper year, for like up to 8 years, depending on how you maintain it. So then to the spray tube. Spray tube also, the price is also like drip tape, almost 400,000 per acre with other items.
Let's Kuku say 500,000.
That is just it.
For both of them.
So that is just
You
it.
know, I'm kind of concerned, pharmacist Anika, that when you talk about irrigation, of course, we know that it brings about more productivity, more yield.
Yes.
Are we condemning rain feeding of agriculture? Are we condemning rain-fed agriculture? How is for our forefathers, they relied on rainfall.
Yes.
They still had yield. Are we condemning rain-fed agriculture for irrigation?
Okay. Then
We are not doing that.
no, we are not condemning it. We are just encouraging it because it is better. Use irrigation system.
Okay.
As for me now, I do rain-fed and I do irrigation system.
Okay.
So it's just farming need planning. You have to plan strategically, strategic planning. So
And part of the planning is irrigation.
it's part of the irrigation. So when you have irrigation, let's say we don't have much money to irrigate your farm, so you can just which of my crops need more irrigation? Okay, cucumber. Okay, let me do like 1 plot of cucumber and I irrigate it. Then my Cassava, maize, I rain-fed it.
Oh.
But other crops, you irrigate them. So we are not condemning it. It's just an encouragement because it is better you irrigate. A lot of advantages. The yield,
Okay.
you can plant at any time
Of the year,
of
all
the
year
year.
round.
So you can even target. You can even target it and do time because planting of crops too. It need timing. You can time. Okay, this time around April, May, June, tomato price is always high. Okay, then it will take me 3 months to plant tomato and fruit. Okay, let me target that time. I can plant.
Ooh.
But when you don't have irrigation system and there is no rain during that time, that is you have to plant when there is rain. And during the season, more farmer will be planting.
There.
So then the supply will be much. And when you get to markets, there is much quantity of food produce, the price will come down. But when you are planting during dry season, the demand, most farmers are on break because there is no rain. So the little farmers that take produce to markets, they will sell at higher price.
Okay.
So it's just the benefits. And also fertigating, which I made mention the other time.
Right.
So you can fertigate your fertilizer, you supply it without stress, because the stress of side dressing, I've done side dressing before very, very well, and it's not that easy. Because side dressing is the medium of applying fertilizer to the crop. You apply it beside the crop, 5 cm or 10 cm down, depending on the crop you are cultivating. Then you cover that. You have to dig, apply, cover, dig, apply, cover to all the crops. And also, when your labor is not that expert good in side dressing, it might even apply it closer to the crop and it burn the crop. But when you are using drip, you are fertigating, it will not burn it.
That's true.
It will not burn it because it has been diluted to the water. It is the water that the crop is uptaking.
Okay. Now,
So
Pharmacist Anika, let's talk about how much water is needed for irrigation. What's the number? Is it measured? How is it measured? How do you know that, okay, you as a consultant, you are going to this farm, you're going to put in place an irrigation system. How much water is needed for such?
Okay. The water requirements depending on the crop and also
The farmland.
Yes, the size.
Okay.
The crop, the size, the drip, the irrigation system type.
All right.
For example,
Crop, size of the farmland,
and the
and
type of irrigation
type.
system. The drip, both the drip tube and adjustable emitter and the drip with fixed emitter, they consume less water. You need less water. Why for this overhead you need more water, because it will sprinkle water over the whole,
water.
both the weed and the crop will be enjoying the water. But with drip, it is only the plants that are enjoying the water. So when you are doing overhead water supply, the sprinklers, you need more volume of water. I always advise my clients, when you want to do crop like ring gun, it's not advisable you use underground water. Just site a place closer to water. There was a project in Anambra that we have to walk up to like 300-400 meters to get a stream. Then we now form a lake there. There is more on the farm, but it is not advisable for ring gun up to like 50 acres of farm.
Wow.
So it's better when you are using overhead, you find a source of water, pump from the water to the feed. So for rain gun, the requirements, because you calculate it for veggies and the likes, you need like 2 liters of water per crop is okay. In some cases, half liter, 1 liters, depending on the availability of water. And you also study your crops too. The water requirement varies day by day, depending on the climate, depending on the weather condition. When there is more heat, your plants will request for more water. There are sometimes that you can even wait in the morning, and you might not need to wait in the evening.
Again, all right.
So there are sometimes that you might just wait, because normally I do advise my client to wait for 30 minutes, and this also depend on how large the farm, because there are some farms that you have to split, you have to do the irrigation system in sections. So there is some farm that you have to first irrigate one section, you get another sections. While there are some farm that you have to irrigate, you can irrigate all the farm once. So in that condition, that is, you have to irrigate for like 30 minutes, then stop. But when you have to irrigate various sections, you get the section 30 minutes and that.
Okay.
But there are some times that even the 30 minutes will not be enough for the crop. So you have to study it, study the soil. Okay, check it. Is the soil wet? Then you know if you have to add more or not. So for drip tape and adjustable meter, For drip tip, normally you just need like 5,000 liters of water.
Okay.
Of tank will be okay for 1 acre.
Okay.
So, but for like drip tube with adjustable emitter, you need like two of 5,000 liter tank or the 10,000 liter capacity. So that is why it's better you go for. That is why surface water is cheaper. So you just channel the pump into the river, then you pump to the farm.
Okay.
But when you are using all these the underground, that is, you have to run cost pumping into the tank. And tank is even expensive now. One 5,000 liter tank is 150,000 now.
Wow.
So that is another cost on its own.
Wow.
But when you are using service, like I said before, you just pump directly. You don't need to buy tank.
Interesting.
So you need up to 10,000 liter for 1 acre of drip with adjustable emitter. But in some cases, because cost of tank is expensive. 2, we also do. But it's just that the time of pumping to the tank will increase. Okay. That is when you've already filled the tank, the 10,000 liter tank. So when you are pumping into the feed, you have to continue pumping from the bowl to the tank. So before rain gone, what's the crop?
The way you said
What the water that is why it's not advisable for bowl. The water that your bowl machine will pump for 1 hour, rain gone will finish it within 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
So how will you meet that requirement? The running cost will be very expensive, and now that diesel is even expensive, diesel that we do, but we do buy it 200 naira now, we buy it 650, 700. So it's very expensive. So it's just go for surface water. Okay. And but you need, when you are making your dam, you consider a very large space depending on how size of farm. You can make 3 meter by 3 meter by 2 meter deep, 4 meter, but the wider is better. You make it very wide so that you will always have water in the dam to supply the farm.
All right, thank you for that brief explanation on how expensive irrigation farming is. Right now I'm concerned about the surface water source that we've been mentioning, which is the cheapest.
Yes.
I'm thinking, is it safer? Is it safe, or let me put it that way, to go for surface water as your source of agricultural water all the time? Because we are talking about rivers, we are talking about streams, and all of them are not linked all the time, especially in the rainy season.
Yes.
Is there not a pH level guide for agricultural water? Is it always safe to always channel your agricultural water from surface water? Okay.
Apart from even the safest step, I'll talk about that one too. There is also some rivers used to dry during dry season. Okay. So that is why I made mention of forming a lake. When you form a lake, you have a storage. So there you always have water. Right. Then to the safeness, if it is safe, it is safe. Most time it is safe. But there is a condition whereby maybe your farm is closer to industrial area. So in that condition, the water is not safe. Because most industries channel their waste into the river. But as a farmer too, because the color will change.
All right.
The color will change. And concerning the pH level you made mention of, pH level varies with crop. The best, most crop used to do well when the pH level is neutral, around 4.5 to like 6.5. Okay. So you can test that. You can
always test your water before you use it for irrigation. You can test
the pH level. But most cases, with normal as an experienced farmer, when you see, you know that this water is okay for my crops. It's okay for my crop.
Interesting. All right, there's been an engaging discussion this afternoon with pharmacist Anigi Kaye. Is a farmer and is an agri-consult, an agripreneur, a young one at that, who has been doing this for a number of years. And we're still looking at water in agriculture, or what you can call agricultural water, looking at the sources, looking at the irrigation systems, the infrastructures, how much it will cost you, how do you know when to use the infrastructure of irrigation. We have talked about that. Now let's get to look at the issue of maintenance. Or before maintenance, let's look at some of the challenges or barriers or limitations that a farmer might encounter when using irrigation. A farmer has decided to use irrigated farming maybe for a plot of land, and he has irrigation system fixed. What are the likely challenges and how can they overcome those challenges?
There is a lot of challenges that we face. The one starts from mechanical failure.
That's for the mansions.
So as a farmer, at least there are your farm manager should have little experience.
I was thinking I'm a mechanic.
No.
Will you need a mechanic for such things?
Yeah, that is why your farm managers should have at least
technical
little
knowledge.
experience of, okay, this thing with this plug issue, let me arrange the plug. And also you should have spare parts. Also, you should have spare parts in the farm, like plug. You have mainly plug. Then you have engine oil also. You have extra on the farm. You have extra petrol too. Let's assume, because we should have issue of petrol, let's assume during scarcity, your crop need water and you have to buy petrol.
Have fuel.
So that's why as a farmer you have extra petrol on the farm. Let's assume the petrol you need today is 10,000, is 1,000 liters. Sorry, it's too much.
Okay.
Like 10-20 liters.
Alright.
It depends, Shabe. 1,000 liters is too much per day. Like 20 liters, 30 liters, 50 liters. So have extra 50 liters in the farm. Keep it somewhere that
is safe. Where fire cannot catch it.
Where fire cannot catch it. Especially maybe under bush, near where you used to keep your pumping machine or near the water. And make sure that the place is safe. So, and also technical know-how, the farm manager should have little technical know-how of servicing plug, changing engine oil. So that is the challenges. And there are also challenges of blockage. So that is why the maintenance of the system comes in. So you have to be maintaining it frequently. And how we used to maintain is the drip tape that used to clog most time. The emitter used to clog. So how to maintain that is why you need to use end cap. It is the end cap that stops the flowing of water at the end. So when you want to maintain it, you keep the system, the pump machine running. So water will be flowing through the system. You remove the end cap. Then you allow water and dirt to come out through the end. So you also remove the end cap of the lay flat to allow water to flow. So you check the emitters, anyone that is clogged, that water is not coming out, you brush it or you tap it.
Okay.
It will be working fine. Then for the rain gun or the sprinklers, the challenge with that one is dismantling of joints.
So like the head would disconnect from
the joint. The joint, there is a way we connect the system in the floor, reducing it from like 4 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches. Then also the head, the male and female socket too, due to pressure. So the joint might dismantle. So it has to be coupled back. You invite we do maintenance. So you call us. What you do is the client pay our transportation and other expenses, but we don't charge when we are the one that help you install your farm.
Okay.
So we also offer free consultation too for our clients too.
Interesting.
So we come, then we do the little maintenance that is needed to do. That is the main issue. The mechanical fault and the kits. And also the issue of when workers are working, they might mistakenly cut the drip tape.
Oh no.
So that is why we advise farmers to get journal, like extra journal, use it to couple the
and then it continues
working. Yes, continue working.
All right, it's about time that we start wrapping up. Okay. But before we bring the program to a close, I want you to advise young people like you, especially those who want to venture into consulting, consulting for irrigation, just like you are doing. I want to start doing irrigation practices. I want to start consulting for people. I want to start having clients just as you're having, so I can make more money. What would you advise? How do one start? Irrigation processes.
Advice to farmer or for someone that wants to.
For someone that wants to start irrigation for farming, farmlands, he wants to consult for people. Okay. How do such persons start? Briefly.
Okay, first for farmers that want to have irrigation system, my advice is just to make sure at least you have up to at least 10% of your farm irrigated.
Okay.
So from the money you make from your rain fed, just instead of going on forceful break, get little change, get irrigation system
and have
something that you'll be maintaining during dry season. Then with that you make more money, then you move to another rainy season. Then before those that want to learn irrigation system or want to be consulting on irrigation, the first thing is learn it.
Okay.
You learn it from someone that is
doing it already.
Yes, that is practical, because it's more of practical. So there are some things we even do in our office, do some design, little work. Then when we get to farm, the design changed.
Okay.
So you must be able to picture it. Okay, this is how we connect this thing. This is how we do this thing. Learn it practically. I have people that we train. I have people that we train. I have guys that work with me.
All right.
Because it's not something that one person can
So
do.
it's about training.
It's about training.
Interesting.
It's about
Okay,
training.
let's get a little bit personal. I was interested in the fact that people call you pharmacist.
Okay.
How did the name come out? What was the original history behind the name? Were you once a pharmacist before you ventured into agriculture or farming? Or let me just put it directly to you. Pharmacist, Aniyi Kaye.
Okay.
What is the history behind that name?
Is from the word pharmacy.
Okay.
I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not even I did not even study
You didn't
Agric.
study pharmacy.
I did not study a pharmacy. I didn't study Agric.
So what did you study?
I'm a quantity surveying student.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm still in 500 level safe.
Interesting.
I'm not graduated. So I did not do anything related to pharmacy.
So how did that name come?
It's from the word pharmacy. And the word pharmacy, I can't even explain how it came up. I was just when I want to register for my business, I've been thinking of, okay, because normally we just do the irrigation work, the consulting stuff, helping people to farm, supplying seedlings normal without any business name like that.
Wow.
So I was thinking, oh, what should I use for this business? I just sat down and I don't even know how the word pharmacy came into it.
Wow.
But before it was pharmacy, veggies farm. So it was due to advice, okay, I'm not into veggies alone because I'm so much interested in veggies. That is what I do mostly. Cucumber. I even have ebooks I wrote on some crops, some veggies, stuff like that. So, but the word pharmacy, I don't even know how it came in. But pharmacies come from the word pharmacy. But pharmacy is farm. You know, as a farmer, you are a pharmacist. You are a pharmacist. You prescribe. You prescribe. Pharmacy
Food
prescribe.
products.
Yes, you prescribe food for crops.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, because I was in a farm yesterday to meet a client. He invited me to prescribe food for his plantain. So you use NPK
water,
and nutrients. And all of those things. Okay, you use NPK in this stage, you use potassium nitrate in this stage, you use this in this
that's
stage.
where the
And I'm so
farmers-
much interested in veggies, like having a shop whereby healthy food produce will be supplied. And a farm whereby we produce food. So we supply food, we sell food, we produce food, we manufacture food for people to consume. So with that, you are a pharmacist.
Interesting. Please remind me again, how long have you been into agriculture?
Let's say 20. I've been into agriculture from my day zero.
Are you serious? From
Because
home?
yes, let me say that. But I started officially 2019 because my grandparents is a farmer. So I started farming from childhood.
Interesting.
So but I started 2019 when I joined USMEFAN in OAU, United Small and Medium Scale Farmers Association of Nigeria, which I'm the president now.
Wow.
So when I joined it, it was USMEFAN that changed my, I'm so passionate about Agric. But USMEFAN increased, my love for agriculture keep increasing.
Motivation.
Yes, keep increasing when I joined USMEFAN. Okay, this is what I can do, this is what I can learn. So that is it.
Wow, interesting. It's been an interesting one this afternoon on SPFS Television. Let's talk Agric with pharmacist Aniyi Kaye, the CEO of Pharmacy Agro Services and Agro Consult. He's a young entrepreneur. He's into consultation. He's a student, and he has a lot of prospects when it comes to agriculture. Just to say to young people watching us out there that there's a lot for you, even in agriculture. You can see the likes of pharmacist Aniyi Kaye doing a lot of good in agriculture. It can also be you tomorrow. On behalf of the executive producer of this program, who is also the CEO of SPFS, I want to present to you this token of our love to say thank you for coming on the program today.
Yes,
and we hope that if we invite you another time, you will gladly say yes to our invitation. So as we go, I want to say thank you to your lovers, your fans from everywhere in the world, those who watched it today, and your word of advice to other farmers out there.
Yeah, I first thank the CEO and the managing director of this company for bringing a program like this, or organizing a program like this where farmers and agripreneurs can learn more about Agric. And I also thank my followers and my clients and everyone watching the program. So thank you very much, man. And I really appreciate it. So and my advice for farmers is, at least if it is just 10%, even if it's just a plot, try and irrigate. It pays. It really pays.
Get your farm irrigated. That is the word of advice from our guest for today on the program. And it's a wrap for this this episode. Today being April the 13th year, 2022. I hope you had some fun and you also learned one or two things from today's episode. My name is Olamide Teju Show, popularly known as Sisi Teju on the show. It's going to be another fantastic episode next week. Make sure to join us from 12 noon to 1 p.m. On behalf of the crew and everyone that made this episode possible, we want to say thank you and we love you. Make sure that you keep growing, keep getting agriculture right, and keep being good. Bye for now.